snow day, so I didn't even go to work. Just hung out with my wife and did a bunch of engineering work, and now I'm going to do a second video for the day. So we're going to talk today about you're going to work hard. It's either for somebody else or for yourself, right? So you just need to get right with that fact, and the more you accept the fact that you're just going to bust your ass and you're going to get where you want to be, it's going to make it easier on you. It'll just completely change your mindset. So I got a bunch of stuff I want to show you. I got some, we got some web posts we're going to go through. I got some videos I want to show you. We're going to talk about some things on TikTok. We're going to talk about the markets. We're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff, all in the my attempt to prove to you that it's worth it. There is a market there. There are people that want to buy your goods, but you're going to have to bust your ass to do it. And the sooner you get right with that, the sooner you'll get to where you want to be. If you're one of those people that wants to work for themselves, right? So it's just, there's no getting around it. There's no denying it. It has to happen. And let's talk about it. So I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to talk to everyone's favorite friend, Elon Musk, and he gives what I think is the best way of looking at work that I've ever heard, and it's fantastic. And I'm going to tell you where I picked up this work ethos that I have, which of course from my stepdad. But here, let's listen to Elon talk about it first.
Just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in 80 to 100 hour weeks every week. Those things improve the odds of success. Okay. I mean, if other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve. Just work like hell. I mean, you just have
right. So that's what it's all about. It's just the truth. So if you want to be one of these people that gets to where you want to be, you got to be doing more than everyone else, right? And the truth is that it's not the nicest thing to say in the world, but most people just don't want it that bad. And that's not to say that, you're a loser or whatever if you don't want to, own your own business, or you don't want to work 70, 80, 100 hours a week. It's just, that's the competition. That's what you're up against. And there's too many people out there saying, well, you can circumvent the work by buying my course, or you can circumvent the work if you just listen to me, because it doesn't sell well. It's hard to sell somebody on the idea that you just have to work hard. There's a guy named Joe DeSena, and he put out a book called Spartan Up, and he wanted to title the book Toughen the Fuck Up, but he couldn't. The publisher would let him. They made him make it Spartan Up, which is what they called it. And basically that's what he was saying, is like, you're going to have to work really hard. You got to work harder than everybody else, because there really isn't any secret sauce. And I think we've been kind of deluded into thinking that all you have to do is just be really smart and you'll be successful. And it's at least in my experience, it's not true. And the people that I know that do what I do, and I know many, it's true for them too. There's no smart one among us that has it all figured out. There's no guy that owns a woodworking business that's sitting there, chilling at home, watching TV while the rest of us are busting our ass 70, 80 hours a week. Like, it's just, there's nobody that I know, so if there's somebody that hears this or watches this that knows that person, like, please let me talk to them. I would love to know their secret, because I haven't figured it out yet. So anyway, I go back to share my screen here. We'll go over some of these other things. So good old Elon, man. I love this guy. So he's got one more. We'll play one more for you real quick, and then we'll get to moving on.
My workload went up from about, 70 to 80 hours a week to probably 120. Yeah. Go to sleep, I wake up, I work. Go to sleep, wake up, work. Do that 7 days a week. I'll have to do that for a while. No choice.
Get up, go to work, go to sleep. Get up, go to work, go to sleep. I got to do that for a while. And that's just what it boils down to. I mean, there's no way to get around it. Now, you can do that for yourself, or you can do that for somebody else, and there are a lot of employers, they only want you to work 40 hours a week, which means you got another 40 hours a week that you can be working on this thing that you want to do. And that's just what it takes, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's no way around that. You can't learn something and figure out what works and what doesn't work doing 5-10 hours a week. Or Tim Ferriss has a book, I think, the 4-hour work week or something like that, the 8-hour work week or something like that, and that works for some industries, right? But we're talking about woodworking, we're talking about manufacturing, and this unfortunately is a very hard job to learn, and it just takes a lot of freaking work, a lot of reps, and a lot of time to figure that stuff out. So going to go over here. I'm going to talk about the kind of what the markets are doing and where furniture is going, specifically custom furniture, right? So again, we've decided that we want to do this thing. We're going to have to do the work. So if you got to put in 60, 70, 80, 100 hours a week to get to where you want to be, and like Elon says, you got to do it for a while. That's what you got to do. So, but I'll give you something good to look at. Okay, if we look at here the global customized furniture market, right? This is not IKEA, right? This is people that want custom things, and again, this is global. This isn't American, but you can see that we have a trend here, and the trend from 2024 out to 2034 looks pretty good, and we don't know if any of this is true. I mean, this is just some market.us report, right? Or market.us, which is going to be better than a .com. Everyone knows that .coms are trying to sell you things, so .us, I guess, might be better. So anyway, market looks pretty good. It's going in the right direction. So if you are to jump into wanting to do the furniture game or manufacturing in general, it looks like you're in pretty good place to be, right? We're looking at 11.2% over this time, which is fantastic I think for any market outside of like tech, right? That's what all of us should hope for. So anyway, it says one of the things I want to highlight here is it's saying about demand growing for houses, right? It says that the average homeowner spends about $5,000 on furnishings when they move. Okay, if we run over here to the housing market, we can go to Forbes, and the housing market should do okay this year. It's really hard to tell, especially with the new administration. We don't know what's going to happen. But overall, if we read the article from Forbes, it basically says that the housing market's going to move in the direction that we want it to move. For the most part, it's still going to be slow. If you look at rates are running here in the 6s, which is better than it's been. I mean, they've been in the 7s, So the fact that it's coming down is a hopeful sign if you want to get in the furniture game, because your customers are going to be people that own homes. They're going to be people that have multiple homes, in fact, so that's something that I think is very good. So if you're looking to get into this industry, like I said, the market's moving in the right direction. We come over here to, actually, I don't want to look in this one, but we could talk about this for a second. So global custom furniture market, these people have actually listed some of these leading players in here as being IKEA, right? IKEA is someone you're never going to compete with. IKEA, the steel case, I don't know much about them. No, you're not going to compete with them. American Leather, that's not talking about furniture specifically, but like Bassett used to be an amazing company, and they're more of a, I mean, some people might consider being kind of a nicer furniture maker, but they're not what they used to be, and you're not really competing with them. They're a high production company at this point. CB2, that's going to be your crate and barrel. You're not really competing with them if you're trying to be in the custom furniture game. Even Baker's a little bit nicer than Bassett, but you're not really competing with Baker as well. But maybe Baker a little bit. So anyway, the Ethan Allen, you're not really dealing with them. These companies are high production, hundreds of millions of dollars a year. They're going to have just insane amounts of floor space, CNCs, facilities, lots of square footage. Like I said, you're not really competing with them so much, but these are the big players. So the thing that I did want to show you was over here. If we go to cabinet and vanity manufacturing in the U.S., this is kind of interesting. So in America, basically there's about a little under $20 billion in revenue for this particular industry when you're dealing with cabinetry and vanities. Okay, the amount of people, we're looking at almost 90,000 people, so that's not a very big market. 5,700 businesses, that's not a lot of competition. I know it seems like there's tons of people that do this stuff, but the truth is that most of the people that do this stuff are just people doing it out of their garage. They're not super serious about it. And, granted, that's where people start. Don't take that the wrong way, but it's very much, it's very difficult to get out of the garage into an actual legit manufacturing space. So the fact that there's only 5,700 businesses means that there's a lot of room if you want to jump in and, stake your claim, as they say. So I think that's pretty good to know that it's a very large industry within America. So you got a lot of good things going on here. If we look at trends and highlights, honestly haven't read this over. I don't want to go over it too much. Competition is stiff among cabinet and vanity manufacturers. That's 100% true. I could do a Google search right now, and if you were to do a Google search for bathroom vanities, you're going to see that a lot of it is garbage. So there's a lot of opportunity. if you are a fine furniture maker and you can make a really nice, high quality product, and again, you can do this in your garage. You do not have to have a bona fide factory. There's a lot of opportunity to get into the space, right? You're gonna have to learn some of these other skills, which I'll talk about a little bit. I got a bunch of things I wrote down here. If you can learn some of these other skills, you can jump into this market and you can make some good money. So there's no reason you can't, do $100,000 in business a year if you work at it. So, all right. So I wrote down some things. Talk about these. We got working skills to be accelerated by working hard. Okay, this is what Elon was talking about. Elon's saying that working 40 hours a week just isn't going to cut it, right? If you really want to go somewhere and you want to go somewhere fast, you need to accelerate the way that you're doing it. And the laissez-faire attitude that most people have towards work, you're going to struggle if you don't get this mindset going on. So like I've titled this video, you can work hard either for someone else or for yourself. If you're going to bust your ass for somebody else, why not bust your ass for yourself, and really get after it. One of the things that I used to do, I should say one of the things I used to do, what I've done basically my entire life is I've made furniture for other people. And then when I would come home, I made furniture for myself. And I did this most of my life, 25 years at this point, until I was able to just kind of do it for myself. And I never strayed from it. It always was what I did, which is what I think made me able to do what I'm able to do here, right? It just takes so long to build up the knowledge and put in the reps and learn all the different facets of furniture making and manufacturing and, the tooling, the CAD stuff, and just all the things that it takes to get a business to where it is that you want it to be. It's real tough, but again, if you can accelerate your learning by working more, it can be done, right? And so I wrote here, everyone sells doom and gloom content right now. It's like, I see so much doom and gloom content pertaining to, the economy is going to crash, the housing market's going to implode, no one has any money. And, it's like, why even try? Employers suck, there's no jobs pay any good money. Like everything's out there that just like, if you read into that stuff, you'll just believe that the world is going to explode. Like there's nothing good out there. When the truth is that the people that have money, always have money, right? So there's always going to be a wealthy class of people, and they always are going to need custom furniture. They're always going to need cabinets. They're always going to need kitchens, bathrooms, you name it, built-ins, whatever, cornices, picture frames. All these people always have money. And the truth is that they're always going to get wealthier, right? So that chart that I just showed you about how they expect custom furniture and upholstery to continue to rise over the next 10 years. That's the same thing with wealthy people as well. Like you can't beat it, right? It's like you can work for a wealthy person and they'll pay you a W-2 income and you'll get steady raises and all that kind of stuff, or you can roll the dice and work for yourself, right? You can go bust your ass for that guy and then bust your ass when you go home and try and figure this thing out. And you can't do it for yourself, right? The market is there. The buyers are there. You have the skills to be a woodworker, provided you put in that work. It can be done. It's not something that you just have to, think that it's for other people or it's not for you. Like it really can be done. And I tell the story all the time. Like I never graduated high school. I'm some dumb shit. And, found my wife. My wife knew one side of it. I knew the other. And, we made this thing work, and it's been freaking awesome. And granted, there are years where, you make no money and all you do is bust your ass for nothing, basically. And there's other years where you're swimming in money, and that's just the nature of business. And that's one of the things that you trade when you work for somebody else. So again, you can bust your ass for somebody else, which I know I did for 20 years, made tons of overtime money. It was fantastic. But the tax man is going to eat you alive, and that's the great thing about owning your own business, is that you can write off everything. You can write off so much stuff. You can put that money back in your business. There's all kinds of ways you can take that money. Instead of giving it to Uncle Sam, you can give it to, Uncle Business, your business. And it's really important that, people kind of understand that you don't have to pay all those taxes. And it doesn't make you a bad person for putting your money in other places so that you don't have to do that. You put that money into growing your business. So that's some of the things you can do. And so just don't believe all doom and gloom content. There is a way out there. And we'll look at some of these people that are posting all kinds of different kinds of content. And I haven't gone through it too much. I just kind of glanced at it. But we'll go through some of that stuff and see what these people are talking about, kind of, say whether it's legit or not, So anyway, another thing I wrote down is, getting out of the apartments, getting out of cities and things like that. A lot of people these days are in apartments, right? And they've been sold this idea that you're just going to go to college and you're going to get some baller apartment in the city and you're going to walk to work. You have dog parks, and maybe you take the bus or take the train, and they've tried to make this kind of life cool. And while it is, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think sometimes it would be awesome just to live that way. It's going to be very difficult to do what I'm telling you, right? So if you want to, if you are a furniture maker that lives in the city, it's going to be very hard for you to go home and then fire up your table saw and your dust collector and start making furniture at home if you live in an apartment. It's just not going to happen, unless you can rent a place, which maybe you make good enough money that that's what you can do. I don't know. But you got to figure out how to get a space to do this work so that you can kind of start to get this ball rolling, and this idea of doing something other than working for somebody else, So got to do those things. And I just see too many people do that stuff. And the consumerism thing is a whole other thing. Like, everybody spends every dime they have, and me included. I've done that forever. But if you can't find a way to save some money, it's going to be very difficult to acquire these things. And so again, bust your ass for somebody, get a little bit of money. If you have a house, if you're renting a place, like whatever, like you can do this stuff. Like, it is entirely possible to start selling, one thing a month, 2 things a month, 3 things a month, to where you're selling 10 things a month. You're traveling, you're moving around, you're having other opportunities to sell things. Like, it literally works like that. It's not, there's no sort of looking for, there's no, easy button to generate sales and to generate customers. It literally is just, it's like running. It's like time on your feet. You just have to learn to work hard and to constantly be working towards generating leads and finding customers and working on marketing and new products. And it's going to go over too crazy on that one. Another thing I wrote down is vacations become workations, right? So when you work for yourself, you can write off all kinds of things, right? So what I would do, or what I like to do, is we have customers all over the place. Like, I don't know how many trips I've taken, but just say the first piece I ever sold was to Park Avenue in New York City, Manhattan, and that trip was paid for, right? So I got to go see New York. I got to go deal with this customer, and it's fantastic. You write all that stuff off, and you learn things as you go. It's not just blowing money and keeping away from Uncle Sam. It's you're learning how to travel. You're learning what kinds of tools to take. You're learning, to think ahead. So when you have to deal with a problem, you can deal with it while it's there, instead of having to go, fiddle fuck around and for all the things you didn't think about, and then go try and figure out how to solve those problems. So you learn all these things. Learn how to book tickets, book cars, whatever it is you have to do, and that becomes how you see the world. Because there's no money to go on vacation to Mexico or to Thailand or Hawaii, where it is you want to go, because you're focused on working hard. And part of working hard is sacrificing all of that stuff that you want to do so that you can get to where it is that you want to be. Because like in the last video, I talked about, if you want to get to that place where you can't afford to go on vacation, you can have other people run your operations, or at least hold down the fort while you go do something. That's what you got to do. So other things, houses become write-offs, tools become write-offs. I see a lot of people posting content about tools constantly. Like, everyone reviews tools now. And the thing is all those tools are write-offs, right? These people that put out those videos, they have a platform that is big enough that tool companies will just give them tools, right? That's a big thing. Like a lot of the stuff that you see on the internet, it's just tool companies giving people tools because they have lots of followers and lots of content, and they're very popular in whatever space it is that they're in. But you get to that point where you can write all that stuff off. And in the beginning, if you're working on a furniture business and you're selling furniture, when you buy a table saw and a dust collector, you can write all that stuff off on your taxes, right? Part of your house becomes a write-off, part of your vehicles, insurance, all these kind of things. All this stuff can become write-offs and help you to keep that money and reinvest it into what it is that you're doing, right? And get away from working for somebody else and go be able to work for yourself. So all these things are, some of it's kind of common knowledge, I think, but I don't know. You got to talk about it enough. I don't know how many people had tell me stuff, and I didn't understand it or really hear it until the right person told it to me, or the way it was explained to me just kind of resonated. So I don't know if some of this might resonate with people. The last thing I wrote down was, learning skills, right? This is that whole, you're going to work hard, right? So if you're going to work for somebody else and then you're coming home and you're building furniture, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you have to do. It's not just making furniture, or just developing skills. And it can be that for a while, like Elon says. It's like I get up, I go to work, I get up, I go to work, I get up, I go to work. And that's what you're going to do until you develop that skill, right? But the other things you have to learn, marketing, advertising, market research. Where are the clients, right? Mostly rich clients. Where are those people? You're gonna have to learn all that stuff. How do I find those people? You have to learn about CAD, drawing things. Selling things to people is not as simple as, like I said in one of my other videos, it's not as simple as doing a sketch, and then you can do that. Don't get me wrong, but man, they sure do like a 3D model. I'll tell you what, they love renderings. You want to sell people on stuff. That's the way to do it. Other things like web development, a lot of people sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace, Etsy, all these different kinds of platforms, but if you can make your own website, you're going to learn that you can save a significant amount of money, or I shouldn't say save, you can keep more money if you have your own website. And there are costs, but trust me, all these platforms, especially like Etsy, they charge you just a ton of money to sell stuff on their service, So you learn all these things as you go. And this is part of what I keep saying, working hard. And that's what it is. It's 60, 70, 80, 100 hours a week. I mean, you're just constantly working on this thing, and you're going to do it for years because that's just what it takes. Unfortunately, it's harder now than it's ever been. And that's because the cost of everything is so high. It's a cliche thing to say at this point, but people don't want to work anymore, So odds are you're going to be the only one that really does a good job, and you're going to be the only person that really has the ambition to do what it is that you're doing, because again, you're the person working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And if anyone you hire, they're working 40 hours a week, they're not, no matter what, no one is going to be committed as you, right? So because you've worked so damn hard for this thing, so anyways, you're going to work hard no matter what. And it's just, there's no getting around it. And if you're one of these people, I wrote down introvert, extrovert. If you're one of these people who's kind of an introvert, which I would say that I kind of am, you're going to have to learn to get out of your shell, because you can't stay at home, or you can't go without talking to people. You're going to have to learn to be a salesperson. You're going to have to learn to tell people what they want to hear, smile, and, just talk up your products and be the person that person needs you to be to make a sale. You're in the problem solving business, and if the customer comes to you needing a built-in, that's goofy, you have to figure out how to make that thing happen. If you want that sale, you got to be able to do it. And you got to be able to do it in a way that, gives that person confidence, which means you got to be enthusiastic. You got to have some character. You can't be, well, maybe, you got to have some confidence, So these are all things you're going to learn from busting your ass, So I'm going to get back on my screen here. Sorry, I usually try and unshare my screen, but I didn't do that. So come back over in here. So I pulled up, let's see, where do we start here? Pulled up the old TikTok. TikTok's always great. And we got this, I just typed in woodworking business, and I don't go on TikTok that much. Most of my platforms are Instagram and YouTube, and you can see all my stuff on all those platforms. We got a pretty decent following. You can go to theresplendentcrow.com. We got a big following on Instagram. You can go to Modern Woodrunner on Instagram. You can go to Modern Woodrunner on YouTube, and just working on this thing, always working on developing more content, and quick side note, you want to put your content and your products on all of these websites, because there's websites, say social media, because one of the things that you need to be able to do is I've talked about marketing and advertising a little bit. And one of the best ways to market and advertise is actually to have your stuff on all these different platforms, because Google, which is the #1 search engine in the world, next to YouTube, which is also owned by Google, these two search engines index these other social media sites, right? So Google is going to index Meta, right, which is Instagram and Facebook. They're going to index TikTok. They're going to index, obviously, YouTube. They index all these things, and that will help you to get higher in the search algorithm. And you don't have to pay for that stuff, right, if you put out enough content. But this is part of this working hard, and do you want to do this stuff for somebody else? Do you want to do this for yourself? Which is one of the reasons I put out just shit tons of content. I'm always putting out content. Our business, the Resplendent Crow, is founded on faux bamboo furniture. And if you type in faux bamboo furniture right now on Google, you're going to see my stuff. You're going to see the Resplendent Crow. You're going to see Modern Woodrunner. And we're not paying for advertising to do that. We're just doing it because we've done it for years at this point, and there's nobody else in the world that offers as much of this content, makes as much of this furniture, or does as much of this stuff related to faux bamboo than we do. And the same thing, if you do a search for Dorothy Draper, even though I'm not Dorothy Draper, I know nothing about that industry, which is what Dorothy Draper was, you'll see our furniture. You'll see my videos. You'll see the Instagram posts that I've done as it pertains to that furniture. And again, it's just because we put out so much content. This is the work. It's not just making furniture. It's all these other things that I'm telling you about. So that's side tangent. So we'll go over here to what do we got here? Zach Vaught. He's kind of the first guy. So this guy's interesting. Like he's I don't know if he actually owns a woodworking business. I think at some point he probably did, but I don't know. Let's listen to this real quick.
Start a successful woodworking business in 2024. You're going to need leads inside of your business. You need to have a predictable strategy for generating leads. You need to have a way to nurture leads. How are you going to keep up with leads? How are you going to make sure that they're well taken care of? You need to have a sales script and a sales process, which I'm giving you here on this channel. You need to have a fulfillment process.
Okay, got it.
Streamline fulfillment. Also,
okay, so this is yeah, how you can generate, where you find your customers, right, and all these kind of things. And that's, again, that's part of the work of starting a company or having a company, is right, is you got to have customers. And clearly what this guy's talking about is he must have a system, right, which he's probably selling something, I would imagine. I can get on here. I don't know what we have going on here. I don't know this guy too well, but anyway, this is my stuff. Like, where's the shop? Like, where's the business? Where do I go? If I do a search for this guy, is he going to have a woodworking business? Can I buy his products? Like, I don't know if this is legit or not. But anyway, go down there. You got these, what is this?
7 ways to make money as a woodworker. Number 1, sell materials.
So I guess selling wood products, I guess, I don't.
Sell finished projects.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Number 3, sell plans.
Yeah, everyone does that, right? That's big. I'll talk about that in a second. Yep, I'll talk about that in a second.
Number 5, sell knowledge.
That's what most people are doing today. Most people are selling knowledge, and I'll tell you why. Entertainment goes along with knowledge.
Sell a service.
Okay. So what they're saying there is kind of interesting. I don't know what this Rocky River Woodworks, I don't know what these people are selling, how to make money as a woodworker. I don't know if we can buy their products. Anyway. So what a lot of people are doing today is here's the thing. And if you're in this, we're in 27 minutes, okay? This is very important. And people don't talk about this enough, okay? What everyone is trying to do right now is not make furniture. Like, they do want to make furniture. Don't get me wrong. Everyone wants to make furniture, but they want to do it. They want to do it at home, and they want to do it on their time, right? Because here's the thing: when you make furniture, if I sell you a piece of furniture, right? Say you pay $5,000 for that piece of furniture. Well, guess what? You're going to expect me to deliver that piece of furniture, right? So that means I have to make it, right? Which that piece of furniture can take anywhere from 8 hours to 100 hours, right? Depending on what it is. There's no getting around it. You have to physically make something, right? You have to procure material. You have to, take labor to cut that material up. It means you have to have tools, and you have to, put the joints together and do the clamps and the wood and the screws and the blah, 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 the hinges, all of these kind of things. The finish, you got to sand, you got to do a top coat of some kind. That's what you have to do in exchange for that $5,000. What most people are doing today is they're trying to show you something that they make, right? Which they make in their own time, which there's no expectation of it being done to any kind of a standard, to being done on time, to, of having any kind of quality. There's no expectation of any of that because nobody's bought that furniture. But they're wanting to make a plan about it, right? They want to sell that plan because to make that piece of furniture and to create that plan and put it on a website, you have to do all of those things one time. And then guess how many times you can sell that plan? You can sell it forever, right? And that's what people want to do. That's why when you get on here on like YouTube, you'll see tons of people, lots of entertainment, lots of content. They're all selling plans. Every single one of them, because they don't really want to make furniture that much. Because truth is really fucking hard. And if you have to make furniture every single time you make a sale, that means you got to do all that work every time. And truth is, most people don't want to do that. There's an old saying, work smarter, not harder. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you do you. But if this Zach Vaught kid is showing up as number one, the first thing on TikTok here, like, I don't see any furniture, and How do you start a woodworking business? Well, if I try and tell you that, hey, you're going to start a woodworking business, but you're going to work your ass off every day. You're going to bust your ass 70, 80 hours a week. You're going to get splinters. You're going to breathe dust for 30 years, and this is what you're going to do over and over again. And you're going to deal with shitty employees, and you're going to deal with people suing you. You're going to deal with, the Labor Department and EPA and OSHA, and you're going to deal with all this. Like, no one's going to go into business for themselves. It's just like, why would you do it? It's not worth it. Just go work for somebody else. Let them deal with all that shit. And that's the secret. That's why most people can't do this. It's because they don't want to put up with all that shit. They don't love woodworking enough to do it, which is, again, why they're never going to tell you that stuff. So I love it so much. So what else do we got here? Got the hot chick, right? Everyone likes the hot chick selling furniture and making things. And let's just go more Zach Vaught, man. This guy must be awesome. Making real money with wood. Okay, we'll do one more.
I'm not barely making any money with my woodworking business. Wait, that's what you're selling? Yeah, I heard these sell really well, but it's honestly just been a nightmare. Well, honestly, I'm not surprised. You should focus on selling high-ticket items like this table instead. High-ticket, isn't that really hard to sell? Not with the right strategy. Bigger items mean bigger margins, and it's honestly the only way to scale a woodworking business. That actually makes sense, but how do you know all this? I follow Zach. He's the go-to expert for scaling and growing your woodworking business.
Oh, man. Okay.
Why am I barely making any money with my
Okay, two things. All right, so we got to do a search on this guy. I'm very curious. So what this guy's selling is 100% true, right? But if you get on YouTube and you just do search for woodworking, you'll see some of these guys. I forget all their names, but there's guys talking about how to make all these little items that this guy's talking about, and this guy crushes it. And what he does, he has a whole bunch of CNC routers, and he's got a big factory, and he just makes gobs of cutting boards. He makes like letters that you spell out to, wooden letters that you spell out. And you make names and do all kinds of stuff, and you can make a ton of money this way, right? But you have to have the infrastructure in order to do it. So when they say CapEx, right, that means you're going to spend a shit ton of money on those routers. Every router that you buy now is like 50, 60 grand minimum. If you want nice, good, high production routers, they're very expensive. So this guy spends a ton of money to get this infrastructure. And then, he can turn out a cutting board for probably $5 and then go sell it for $25, right? And you can make some serious money that way. But he probably spends a ton of money selling those products as well, So what this kid's saying, there's something to that, right? But then when he says, you need to sell big, expensive items, he talks about tables, right? Here's the thing about tables. If you go on, the YouTube, whatever, you'll see all these people talking about making tables, and you'll see there's one guy specifically, the Blacktail Studio, I think is the guy's name, and that dude is probably the only one that's really legit as far as I'm concerned, because he makes a product that, while a ton of people make it now, my guess is he was the first. He was probably the guy that popularized this thing, and he's making all the money, and he got a whole bunch of people getting in there saying, "Well, I'm going to do it too." And those people, here's the thing about furniture. And again, this is like, pay attention to this, because I have some knowledge here. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys understand how this works. The guy that makes the epoxy table that's really popular on YouTube and I think Instagram too, that guy probably sells his tables for like 10 grand. Okay, if you go and make a table in your garage and you make it look exactly the same way and it's gorgeous and you sell it for $5,000, guess what? Nobody's buying your table. They're going to buy the $10,000 table. They're not going to buy your table. I guarantee it. You can do everything exactly the same because he's the guy that popularized it. He has the name. He is the Kleenex of epoxy tables. And so people don't understand this. And this is the thing about, so what we do here at the Resplendent Crow is we sell lacquered furniture, right? I shouldn't even say we, I should say my wife, she kind of popularized lacquering furniture. So when people see a high gloss lacquered piece of furniture, or a lacquered piece of furniture, they don't say, is that a lacquered piece of furniture? Oh, that's a nice lacquered piece of furniture. Odds are they're going to say, is that a Resplendent Crow? That's what you want, right? You want to be able to sell a product, and you want to be the first to market, or you want to be the person that popularizes that piece. That's one of the ways to make money, right? So this guy's saying, get into tables and you're going to make money, right? So these big tables, there's no money in tables, right? There is money in tables if you're the table guy. If you're the table guy in your area, there is money, right? But no Joe Blow is just going to go and make a table and sell it on Facebook Marketplace for, $8 grand or whatever this guy thinks he's selling tables for. It just doesn't work that way. And again, nobody's going to tell you this stuff, right? That's just how it works, And he's got these, I'm assuming this guy would sell chairs and benches and all the accoutrements that go with tables, right? Nobody is making those things here. There are some, don't get me wrong, there are people, the Amish make them, and Hickory Chair makes them, and there's some legacy companies that make this kind of stuff. But for the most part, people are importing all that shit, right? So that's another question, right? Do you want to be someone that imports all your stuff, right? Do you want to be that person, or do you want to make stuff? Obviously you got into this to be a woodworker, so you probably want to make actual furniture. So anyway, I don't know, man. Like I got to stop watching these videos. I almost get triggered at this point because I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just trying to. I hope this is like regular content for people to kind of show them that the reality is a little bit different than what you see. So here, $5,000 to $10,000 a month.
$5,000 and $10,000 worth of custom furniture every single month, like clockwork. So number one, the first thing that you need to do: quit selling cheap products. Sell expensive items. When I say expensive items, anywhere from $800 and up. Dining tables, living room furniture, bedroom furniture, barn doors. A lot of this stuff can start at a minimum price of around $800 to $1,000. So that's the first thing that you need to do. Quit selling $50 trinkets, small little items. It's just going to take a lot of people to buy those things in order to get you from it.
Okay, yeah, that's it. He's 100% right. Okay, yes, you need a ton of people. But here's the thing about the internet. When you have an online e-commerce business, we get hundreds of thousands of people look at our site every month. So trust me, there's plenty of customers out there, right? You just have to have the right marketing. But what he says is $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Okay, let's talk about that, right? What does that really mean? $5,000 to $10,000 a month in the furniture game is not a ton of money. Like I know it might sound like a bunch if you're making $5,000 a month working for somebody else, but let me tell you, making $5,000 a month working for somebody else is a hell of a lot easier than making $5,000 as a furniture maker. I guarantee it, right? And this is what I talked about when I said at the beginning of this video. You will work hard either for somebody else or for yourself, okay? So if you want to get to that place where you can make escape velocity money, which is working for yourself, it's very hard to do for somebody else. It can be done, but it's very difficult. You're going to bust your ass, right? But I don't know that the skits way is the way, and I don't know anything about barn doors and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, my average credenza is probably $6,000, right? And we make many of them a month, right? Bedroom furniture, I don't know. Anyway, okay, bear with me. We got to do one more. I just have to do one more, and we'll just pick let's just scroll way down. Let's find somebody completely random. It's not this guy. All right, let's look at this gal. Now you can make your own. I mean, that's cool, right? And you notice what she's doing is she's videoing all of her stuff, right? So she's clearly not using a Steadicam, but she's doing the work. And this is part of what I'm talking about. You have to learn to do this stuff, right? You have to learn how to make video, do audio, clip, do all these kind of things. She's got good, catchy music, all these kind of things. And this is what you need to get people interested in what it is that you're selling. I don't know. But she's clearly got a shop and all this kind of stuff. Doesn't look like, I don't know if she's selling anything. Handy Dandy Brandy. Oh, that's my sister's name, Brandy. Interesting. She's got a bunch of followers, 6,000. I mean, that's pretty legit. HandyBrandy.com. Well, there we go. Bulk and wholesale. Oh. There you go. So she's not making all this stuff. Digital downloads. There it is. Plans, right? And this is, again, nothing wrong with this. Like, if this is what you want to do, man, like, more power to anybody. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. Like, it's great. But if you want to be a furniture maker that makes furniture, that gets to do this thing that you love, it drives me crazy. Okay, last thing, and then I'm done. We're done with this video. I'm done doing the live tonight. We're gonna search this Zach guy. I gotta know. Here, we'll go to Bloom. Yeah, this is the stuff that I look up. Specifications for Bloom hinges, because I'm freaking designing stupid stuff, and this is what real work looks like. No one's gonna sell you a course on here. This is what you got to do. You got to go into stupid web searches to figure out all the measurements. Then we got to convert everything from metric to fucking inches, because this is what we do here in America. We use inches, but Bloom does everything, and because everyone in the world uses the metric system, right? And we got to go over to SolidWorks. We got to come in here and add, I'll show this over real quick. We got to add all this kind of stuff to this thing we're going to build. We got to make sure that we have all the right dimensions for slides, and there's no hinges on this one. It's a bad example. But anyway, it's like, you can't sell people on the idea that you have to work your ass off. You can't do it. Like there's no program for it. So, all right. So here let's see if what was this, Zach? Is there a VA? No, I think it was GHT. Zach Bot. There we go. Zach Bot. Okay. Yeah. All right. $60,000 per month in average business revenue. Okay. Again, no woodworking. Where do I buy the furniture? Where's the tables? Where's all this stuff? And yeah, maybe he's got some other stuff. I don't freaking know. But so yeah, we're not selling furniture. That's so terrible. I'm so bad. Here's another one. Let's go to, what's this one? More selling stuff. Yeah. Sorry, guys. All right, Instagram. We'll go to the next one. Okay. So more stuff. Well, there's something, right? A lot of talking. I mean, what's this? Is there a place we can go to buy this thing? Again, this is what I'm talking about. I don't see anything. Is there a link tree? Let's try a link tree. There's got to be something. There has to be. YouTube, business podcast, handbook. There is not one fucking piece of furniture on here. Not one. Like, that is unbelievable. Okay. Here, let's go to here. Here's mine. Okay. We'll do a refresh on here. Here's Modern Woodrunner. Okay. I'll go to my profile. I'll show you all my back end stuff here. Look at this. It's nothing but furniture. Oh, look at that. We're using hand tools. What? Oh my gosh. Look at that hardware. That's another thing. I design and sell hardware. You can learn all about that, right? Look, drills, all kinds of things. Clearly there's some kind of woodworking going on here. Oh my God, people, I'm so sorry. If you're with me on this, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But this is insane. Here, let's go to the Resplendent Crow. Here's the main business, right? Look at that. Oh, look, it's more furniture, hardware, furniture. I wonder if you can buy any furniture. What do you think? You think you can buy furniture anywhere? Let's see here. The Resplendent Crow got an Amazon store. Let's try the Resplendent Crow. Oh, look, this kind of looks familiar. Oh, look at furniture. Let's look at some new arrivals. Let's see what's in the old store today. Look at that. We got china cabinets. Oh, God. So if you really wanted to make $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, could you do it selling products that looks like the average price, the low is $3,000, the high is $8,000? Think you make some money? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. It's just, goodness gracious. I just built this. This is really cool. This is a Dorothy Draper. Nobody makes this. Dorothy Draper didn't even make this, right? So I'm the only person that makes this. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so okay, I'm done. We're gonna stop sharing this page. So anyway, hope you guys found good information in here. And again, this is just conversations from a woodworking owner talking to other people that want to be woodworkers that have questions about woodworking. And again, I don't have comments on this software that I'm using, so I'll try to do some more lives that are in the shop. But again, I'm on a snow day, so I didn't go on a work day, so I'm just doing work on the computer. So yeah, it's you're gonna work hard. You're gonna work hard, and I hope that what I can pass on to people is that you're going to work harder than everybody else. And when people tell you that working overtime or they bitch about working 10 extra hours a week, I'm here to tell you that those people don't know what they're doing. They have no idea how hard you have to work and what it takes to really get what you want. I've literally worked 60, 70 hours a week for somebody else most of my life and found time to figure this thing out and do this stuff. Okay. When I lived in Savannah, Georgia, I literally had three jobs at the same time to try and get my furniture business going. I worked for Gulfstream. I worked for a company called Bellaterra. I helped them to get into the aerospace industry. And then I started Wilkin Woodcraft, which ultimately failed, right? Which is a whole other discussion. That's how hard you're going to work. You're going to fail. You're going to cry. You're going to hate it. It's going to suck. You're going to lose friends. Your family's not going to understand. And it sounds cliche at this point, but it's the honest to God truth. So anyway, I got to get back on the computer. I hope everyone has a great night and back to work tomorrow. So everyone, good luck, man. It's you're gonna work hard.